And we will try to run this bi-monthly. And you can go to this website and see what is coming up next. So today we have Professor Kimambo from University of Dar. Professor Kimambo just recently completed his period as DVC for research at UDSM. And he has participated in our projects from the beginning, more than about almost 15 years ago, even when he's been holding demanding leadership positions at UDSM at all levels. And Professor Kimambo is currently registered as a visiting professor at NTNU through this NURPART project, mobility project we have with UDSM. So it's a pleasure to have you today, Professor Kimambo. Please, the word is yours. Let me note that if you have any questions, put them on the chat, and Chow will read them up at the end of the presentations. We should hopefully have some 15 minutes left for questions and comments afterwards.
Yeah, and Professor Kimambo, you're welcome to share your screen now.
Thank you. Oh, screen sharing. Is that okay now? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, looks perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, Ojay, for the kind introduction, and welcome you all to this seminar or webinar, the first one. I must say I feel honored to be given this opportunity to start the webinar, and I hope in the next half an hour or so I'll be able to give a highlight of what we have been doing or what you basically need to know about our collaboration and how it can help you or others who are interested in this. Before I continue, today is a public holiday in Tanzania. I think you heard recently we had this sad event of the passing of our former president, and today is the burial day. Actually, right now the proceedings are going on, but I thought it will be a good way of honoring him if we just continue with the webinar, because that is what he was always preaching, that people should work. So welcome, and the title that I've been given is on Norway-Tanzania research cooperation, and here I'm focusing mainly on the NTNU and the University of Dar projects that we have been doing. I'll give a wider perspective of the university and the country, but I'll focus mainly on the projects that we have been implementing with our partners in our network of NTNU and Eastern and Southern African institutions. So that is an overview of the presentation. And as an introduction, I think those of you who are, I think most of you know where Tanzania is and where Norway is. This slide I've adopted from Statoil. It's the only one I could get, otherwise I should have drawn. So this is how far Tanzania and Norway are. A bit more details about Tanzania. The location is in East Africa. We are bordered by Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Congo, Zambia, and Mozambique and Malawi. That's a country profile, which I don't think I need to go through, but if you'll have time, you can go through it on your own. But what I want to emphasize is I'll share the presentation afterwards. The natural resources, the country is endowed with a lot of natural resources, starting from agricultural resources, forestry, wildlife, and different varieties of minerals, and the energy resources such as natural gas, uranium, and all the renewable energy. So it's in terms of resources, it's a very rich country. Yes, tourism is also an important part of our economy. And in energy, we have, as I said, almost all the energy resources that you can think of in the world, non-renewable and renewable. As I said, we have a lot of gas, but we also have most of the renewable energy resources. In terms of economy, we used to be in the group of countries known as LDCs, least developed countries. And the vision of the country was to achieve the middle income status by the year 2025. But under the good leadership of our president and the government, we managed to reach the low middle income status in July last year, 2020, which is almost 5 years ahead of the time which was planned by our vision. We are a member of different regional blocks, the East African Community in the north. These are countries which are north and west of Tanzania, but also members of SADC, which is a bigger block. So we are actually a member of almost half of the African countries. We enjoy collaborations and from north and south, which is an advantage, I think, for our country. Now, comparing Norway and Tanzania, I've used this slide, which is very old. I think I'll have to update it, but I think it's just to show the contrast between these two countries in terms of population, in terms of life expectancy, in terms of GNI, or the GDP, percentage of, poverty, and so on. So you can see in general, Tanzania is a big country with a large population. In terms of life expectancy, okay, we are lower than Norway. Actually, this was 61. Now we are at above 65. So it has gone up from this slide. And in terms of GNI, as I said, we have attained the middle low income group, which is the GNI has gone up to close to 1,100 USD and so on. So this is the diversity. These are two countries which are, and in terms of ranking, you can see we are 159, while Norway is #1 in HID, Human Development Index. So these are two countries. One is very rich and the other one is very poor, but rich and small. And we are trying to see how the countries can work together to develop or to assist each other. And here I've talked about the collaboration between Norway and Tanzania, which has started a long way since our independence with the first president. Norway is one of the countries which have been very supportive and friendly to Tanzania. And I think up to now, where we are in terms of our area, which I'm going to talk about, energy, Norway is one of the countries which are involved heavily in the development of our natural gas resources. As I said, we have quite a lot of natural gas, and this is now being developed. And Equinor, which is a Norwegian company, is one of the countries which has been very active, and they've discovered quite vast resources in Tanzania. University of Dar es Salaam. Okay, I think this slide information you can get from our website. We have constituent colleges, campus colleges, and every time the university is expanding, like, for example, between now and 2 years ago, when I came to NTNU, we have had 3 new schools, number 5, 6, and 7. These have been established within the last 2 years. And 1 institute here, number 7, Institute of Mineral Resources Institute. And centers also, we have had quite a number of new centers. We have even one now which is dealing with COVID-19. So the university is very proactive in responding to what is happening around. Now, in terms of research, most of this information can be obtained from our website. We have RIMS is a research information management system. So if you go, you can get this information. But I've tried to summarize and compile that data in a way that I can present. So I'll be presenting it in under these topics which I've indicated here. Now, this first one is on major research grants. And you can see this is information from 2015 to 2020. So you can see Norway ranks number 3 in terms of money that is spent for research at the University of Dar es Salaam. But also the good thing is that now we are receiving quite substantial support from local sources. And you can see number 9, if you sum all the local or Tanzanian funding for research, most of which actually more than 60% is from the University of Dar es Salaam itself. So these are our major research funders. And this is up to 2020. So maybe the situation now will change or has changed already. I think as you have heard, we have quite a number of new projects which are starting this year, especially under NORAD 2. We have had quite a lot of projects from UDSM. So the picture might change in the years to come. Collaborating partners from Europe, Africa, and so on. You can see we are collaborating with quite a number of country institutions in different countries. And the list of these institutions are provided in the website. And I think I've compiled it also, which I can share together with these slides. As I said, the local funding, 60%, 60.2 is from the university itself. The other funders are the Commission for Science and Technology, and some government institutions and companies. Now, if you look at these are the colleges and institutes which I mentioned, representing different disciplines. So the funding according to those institutions. We belong to the College of Engineering and Technology, which I've highlighted. And we are not doing so badly in terms of funding. You can see most of the university level, this is mainly the CEDA funding who are funding the entire university. So it's coordinated centrally, but the projects are divided in different colleges and institutes. And we also have some projects from there. But you can see most of the courses, College of Social Sciences, College of Humanities, these are leading, and this is Institute of Resource Assessment. These are leading in terms of attracting funds for those years. So research funding from Norway, the details are also presented in the website. But as I said, the total sum is close to 6 million USD. And we have a total of 17 projects. That was for 2015 to 2020 under these programs. Some of the funding is directly from universities in Norway. And the main universities that we are collaborating with and the disciplines is engineering, which is mainly NTNU. Climate change also attracts a lot of collaboration, and mainly the University of Life Sciences, Marine Sciences, University of Life Sciences, Education, University of Oslo, Social Sciences, Bergen, and NMBU. Okay, this slide I borrowed from OJ from last year, but it summarizes, it gives a mapping of the projects that we have been implementing for the past almost 15 years. And it started with the NUFU and NOMA. And what I would like, NUFU was mainly research in solar thermal energy, but starting from NOMA, these are now collaborations which we did specifically, I would say, and this is one of the major outcomes I'm going to talk about here today, is the programs, training programs that have been developed, master programs. So NOMA was the first one where we developed master program in renewable energy between 2007 and 2010. These were implemented in Tanzania, University of Dar es Salaam, and Makerere in Uganda. And then we went to NP1, where similar activities were performed, but in this case, the focus was establishing a master program at Mekelle University in Ethiopia, but still working under the network collaboration. And then we went to NP2, where we had 2 programs, one for supporting renewable energy also. And this time it was the turn of Mozambique, UEM, where they also established a master program in renewable energy. While at the University of Dar es Salaam, we had a bilateral collaboration with the NTNU, Norway and NTNU, where we started a master program in oil and gas technology. So all these these programs which I've mentioned, 4 in renewable energy and 1 in oil and gas, are now running, and we are still supporting them. And then we have this mobility program, which is still ongoing. So I would say these are mainly activities between 2007 and 2020, not 21, 2020. Now, starting from before the start of 2021, we made some initiatives to develop new projects. And I remember the last time we came to Norway before the COVID struck, we had an opportunity to discuss and actually initiate proposal writing for a follow-up project. This was now to be funded by EU, and it was called, under Erasmus. Of course, I'm explaining using this slide. And that was to move further than having these masters, what next? And the Erasmus was focusing in developing PhD curriculum, but also we wrote another proposal under NORHED 2 for supporting the ongoing masters, but also focusing more on the transfer of the research results that we have come up over the past years to the society, basically. So I'll talk about this in more details as we continue. But this was more information about the partnership and collaboration, the main institutions. Actually, these have been the main actors who have been active since we started. Of course, we also had the University of Malawi, but for some reason they couldn't continue for a long time. But now they are on board again, and these are the other regional institutions which are involved in one or the other of the new projects. Of course, we had other projects which are not Norway related, but somehow they've contributed to the program, which are DAMOC, and with the German, funded by Erasmus EU, and the collaboration with the University of Aberdeen, which was also funded by EU, but under a bilateral collaboration between Tanzania and EU through the mission in Dar es Salaam. Our main European partner has always been NTNU, both renewable and oil and gas. So these are more details on the programs. We started with NOMA project, NOMA Pro, and it was coordinated at NTNU. We had NUF also coordinated at NTNU. That was beginning from 2006 and 2007. And then we had the NP1 and NP2. These were a network project. I've called them network project, which means they involved all these partners. You can see the 4 countries mainly which were involved. Then we had these bilateral projects, the master under NP2 for oil and gas through the Department of Mechanical Engineering. But we had another project. There is another collaboration between NTNU and the University of Dar es Salaam, but not through the Department of Mechanical Engineering, through the Department of Chemical and Mining Engineering, where they are focusing on petroleum engineering. We are focusing on oil and gas technology. Theirs is petroleum engineering, and they've been collaborating. Initially, it was funded by the embassy and the Statoil, and then they got the NP2 grant, and now they are about to start the master program here in Tanzania. Initially, they used to bring students to do most of their coursework in Norway, and this is named ANTHEI. That's the acronym for the project. And then we have this mobility program, which is supporting both renewable and oil and gas programs. I talked about the Anthe project, but we also have a Master of Accounting and Finance in Oil and Gas in the business school. This also is receiving support from Norway, and it's a master program which is going on. So as you can see, we have quite a lot of programs that have been initiated with the support and collaboration with NTNU and Norway in general. So new projects, I mentioned the Erasmus project and the NORHED 2 project, and these are the summary or summaries. Mainly NTNU is the main collaborating partner, but for the Erasmus project, we also have a university in Italy, USMG, and apart from the tradition of 4 universities, now we have University of Addis Ababa, who was involved under the NUFU project, now being partner in this project. But we have brought in, for the case of Tanzania and Uganda, other universities, University of Dodoma in Tanzania and Makerere, sorry, Butsitema in Uganda, which are universities which are not very much developed in research, but we are using this collaboration to bring them to start building their capacity, supporting them to be research-oriented university, but in another way, they will also be benefiting by their staff members being trained through the programs that we are starting. And for the NORHED project, it's called EnergyNet, Energy Technology Network, and the Erasmus project is called UNET, Investor Network on PhD Program in Energy Technology. So these are the 2 acronyms are easier, UNET, and the EnergyNet. And for the EnergyNet, it's mainly those 5 now major universities, plus University of Malawi, and the completely new partner we have brought in South Sudan. I think this is one of the newest countries in Africa. They're still low in terms of capacity in higher education, so they are going to be partners in this project. Okay. Now, I've talked more about the details, the Erasmus project. Basically, based on needs assessment, we found that at national level, we needed to increase specialists in the areas to serve the energy sector, but also institutional-wise. And I think these needs are shared by all the other network institutions. The other one is our vision of the University of Dar es Salaam, Vision 2061, is to prioritize in postgraduate training, but also to transform from research-based PhD to taught PhDs. But also we need capacity building in PhD training and so on. So these are the other partners, and the funding level is shown there. The specific objectives, we are developing PhD catalog, but we'll also establish training nodes in various universities. We thought the most cost-effective way of building capacity is not for every institution to have their own full capacity. So we have split that capacity among the institutions, and each institution will be collaborating, will be leading or become a node in one of the areas of specialization. And therefore, the support that is going to be given under the project will focus on building that capacity on that institution. So those are the training nodes: University of Dar es Salaam in Hydropower, Makerere Solar Thermal, Addis Ababa and Mekele, Wind Energy, and UEM Mozambique in Solar PV. And this is what we'll be trying to do, and using that support to develop highly equipped, well-equipped laboratories which will be able to offer support to PhD students. Now, with the and this is EnergyNet, not UNET, it's EnergyNet. We had a similar needs assessment, and the main needs were to increase the quality of educational programs and research capacity, and the other one to transfer or to bring the research results out from the laboratories in universities to the society. So this will be the focus of this project. And this is funded by NORAD, as I said, under NP2. And the expected outputs are listed there. Collaboration, of course, is the key. And in this project, we want now to kind of formalize this collaboration. Our collaboration so far has been depending on funded research, or grants, but we want to make it permanent such that even if we don't have any support, we can work together in those areas that we have identified. So we'll support also multidisciplinary research and enhance quality of existing masters through curriculum reviews. And we have, as I've said, we have included new universities which are at the earlier stages on research capacity path. Finally, I want to, not finally, but after all that presentation and experience, I've tried to list down the experience that we have from all these 15 years of working together. And mainly they are in the area, I can see time is running short, and I would like you to have time to ask questions. So one is about the university networks, how important they are and how valuable they are, but also combination of research and education is very important. In the past, we used to have research projects which are purely research, but doing that as part of training, we have seen that it's both, it has synergies, because while you are researching, you're also building capacity in many areas of not only of the institutions, but of the country. But also we are emphasizing on the importance of having research activities in parallel at NTNU that will be addressing issues related to our countries. We will try also to make, we are trying to make South-South collaboration, but we think that the South-North collaboration or North-South is also important in being able to address all the issues. The mobility aspects, I've also explained their benefits, but also some points about sustainability and why we are saying this network is potentially sustainable. But also in terms of technology and knowledge transfer, we have been doing joint supervision, which is very good, and it is helping a lot, not only to share experience, but also in terms of building capacity, especially for the South universities, and also joint publications. So as a concluding remark, I'm saying there is greater potential for collaboration between Tanzania and Norway in research and higher education, and the existing collaboration in the field of engineering, climate change, which I've shown from the data that I gave. But I think mainly when I talk of engineering, it includes all these network projects, energy, and so on. Marine sciences, education, these are areas where Tanzania and Norway have been, especially University of Dar, Salaam, have been working together. But more important, and this is my main message, and I hope in the audience we also have funders of research or potential funders. We are saying we should put special attention on the activities that have already started. The master program, as I've said, the renewable energy program is more than 10 years now. It's almost sustainable. It's going to be, still needs improvement and so on, but it's more advanced than the oil and gas project, which is at very infant stages. But also the PhD program is just starting. So we think these should be given special attention, and we'll be knocking on your doors. Please don't get fed up with us, but because we want to really see that this good work that has started is going to be completed and sustainable. And I talked about also on the network of excellency. I think this is a good model or initiative, and it has shown ability to be able to address capacity building needs of universities, especially in the South. And we are recommending it for replication in other areas of specialization, but also other institutions. Finally, I acknowledge the support that we have received from all our funders, mainly the Norwegian government through NORAD, the EU through the Erasmus program, but also the University of Dar es Salaam or through the government of Tanzania for the support that it has given. Our main collaborator, NTNU, we really appreciate. It's a partner that we have seen who has become almost now a permanent partner. And of course, our universities in the South, we have had very good collaboration between the different institutions in the South, and we have never had any problem. We work as if we are in one country, actually. It's only the COVID-19 which has been able to cause disruption. Otherwise, our activities have been very smooth, right from the start up to now. And we also acknowledge all research collaborators, and particularly students. I can see some of them are there. We have had quite a number of students moving from one country to another, making friendships, collaborations, and now we have a network not only of staff, but also of students. And this is what we want to strengthen and follow up from our previous students so that we can have a really strong network of excellence in Southern Africa that can spearhead the advancement of renewable energy in Tanzania. I have some photos here showing the collaboration between Tanzania and particularly University of Dar es Salaam and Norway. This is the Norwegian ambassador in Dar es Salaam. This was a book launching on an event by the Center for Climate Change. The collaboration goes up to the highest level. Our former president, whom we are mourning his death today, is here with the Norwegian ambassador. But the Norway was supporting apprenticeship program for engineering female graduates, and this is the National Day of the Engineers, and the president was invited and having a word with the Norwegian president. Yeah, let's also not forget the vice president of NTNU visited University of Dar es Salaam in May 2019, just to show how strong our collaboration is. But also the university is exploring collaboration in different other areas. This is the University of Agder in Norway. Our vice chancellor visited there. I think there they are collaborating with the business school. So you see the dean of the business school there with the collaborators in Agder. So I think that's the end of my presentation. I hope it has given you, it has been very quick, but I hope it has given you some light on what we are trying to do, or we have been doing, and what we intend to do in the future. But I'm happy to provide more details in case anyone wants more details in any of the areas that I've touched upon. I can share them either for the whole group or individually as a request. Thank you very much, facilitator, and I return the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kimambo, for a very interesting presentation and a great overview of all the collaborations that we have between Norway and Tanzania, and within the two universities as well. We can see that in the chat box, we got quite a few questions already. The first one is from Krishna, and it's a quite specific question. He's wondering if you have any, is there any collaborations or any activities in the hydropower area? I think you're mute, Professor.
Thank you. Yes, hydropower is actually one among the energy resources in Tanzania. Hydropower is maybe the largest and one that is being developed. Right now, if I can say, we have a big project, 2.15 gigawatt hydropower plant in one site, which is under construction. I think it's going to be completed this year, by the end of this year. But in the past, Norway has been one of the countries that have supported Tanzania in hydropower development a lot. And they start working with TANESCO, which is our power company. But at the university level, through the network, one of the specializations in our renewable energy program is in hydropower. And luckily, Tanzania has been made the node for hydropower. Actually, we were a node even before, when we started the master program, where we used to have specialization. Well, we have specialization in hydropower, solar energy, bioenergy, and energy efficiency and energy in building. And University of Dar, Salaam, among the nodes that was given was hydropower. But through the network projects, we have had support to finance PhDs in hydropower. So far, we have two have already graduated. One was from Malawi, one from Tanzania, and under the new project, Norway project, we are going to have another PhD. And again, this time is from Malawi. So yes, there is quite a lot of. I also mentioned, I think you saw in one of the slides, although I didn't talk about it, we have a project, another institution, it's a institution technical college or a polytechnic in Arusha, is developing or has been given an old power plant, hydropower plant to run. And the Embassy of Norway provided funds for rehabilitation, and Professor Nielsen from NTNU supervised that work, working with the Arusha Technical College, and that was through the support or involvement of the Norwegian embassy, so Norwegian government. So there's quite a lot of, quite some activity and potential, big potential is there now that we are going to these multi-gigawatt projects. I think we'll need more capacity and more experts in hydropower.
Okay, and thanks very much for the answering, Professor. We have quite a few questions lining up, so you might have to want to keep your answer a little bit brief. The next one is from Maria, and she is from NTNU Ocean, and her question is about, in your project, do you have any activities in the citizenship science activity? And if there is any, do you think there is an increasing trend to involve different local communities in the capacity building activities? And do you have any tips or wishes to this regard? So it's quite a bit of a compact questions here.
Did you say fishing?
No, it's a citizenship science.
Citizenship.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have, but not under this collaboration. I think through our College of Social Sciences, we have a center. If you look under the center, it's called the Center for Democracy and something. They do that kind of research, and not only for the university, they are very active, especially during the elections or even before. They are involved in building capacity of local leaders and the public, educating them about citizenship.
Maybe I can rephrase a little bit, because it's not about only social science topics, but it is also in natural science. In Europe, there is a tendency to have citizen science activities where we involve local stakeholders and citizens into scientific processes for natural science activities. And I was wondering, in these energy process projects, if there is any kind of activities to educate citizens and local stakeholders, and not only the students, but also having activities towards the local communities.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, yes, we do actually, and if you look at the slide, which later maybe, which I show one of the slides under the Norway project, that will be one of the focus, to work with the citizens, the society, to be able to understand their needs and to transfer the technology. We have been doing that always or talking about it more than doing. But I think I'm getting your point that maybe that's one area where we need to be more organized maybe and put more emphasis. But always I've been working in engineering. We also have centers for technology development and transfer. And we are facing those challenges of working with the society. We develop technology knowing that the people are going to use them, but it's not always the case. So I understand that we are doing it, but we don't have an organized, I would say, program or institution that is handling that. So maybe should be one. But under the NORAD project, we had put that as one of our focus areas or issues that we should look at. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, thanks a lot. That is very interesting. Good.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chacha,
Ellen,
yes,
sorry.
please.
Yeah, I'm just going to say thanks very much for coming to this webinar, and I have to run for another meeting. So Eleni, my colleague, will take over from here, and I'll see you around next time. Thank you very much, Professor Kimambo. Eleni.
Thank you very much.
We have a couple of more questions, and the next question I see it was from Maria again. Maria, would you like to take it up, or I can read your question? But would you like to?
Well, I think it has been kind of answered. I'm just wondering if I would love to have a further conversation on how the professor think that we could help more into this citizen science and including stakeholders into the projects, but maybe it's too broad to have it here. Maybe I can just contact you in a different stage.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. So we can go to the next question that is from Johannes Jaschke. And he's wondered if there are other research areas that are prioritized in the coming years by Tanzania.
Yes.
Other research areas, yes.
Yes, we do, and maybe what I should also do is to share our research agenda. Our university is a comprehensive university, and as you've seen, it covers all the various disciplines. So I was there as DVC when we were developing that research agenda. It was very difficult to prioritize. In the end, you find that you can't leave any discipline. So there are many research areas, other research areas. But for us, in our group, in our network, it's mainly on energy. We are focusing on energy. We have moved from renewable to non-renewable, so we are covering all areas because we think all energy resources need to be optimized and used properly. But yes, I can facilitate or link anyone who wants to do research in any of the area you're interested in and find out who will be the good partners or if there is a possibility of having such research here in our institution.
Yes, that will be fine. Thank you. So, and I can take up the last question, which is from Yi Liu, and it has to do about the new PhD program that you start now with Erasmus+. And the question is if the PhD students will, coming from University of Dar es Salaam, will have research stays at NTNU during the project, or if there are some other training approaches included or considered.
Yes. Yes. We so far, I think since we started, we have been trying to give opportunity through various projects for those students to come to NTNU, mainly to do things which they cannot do here. Maybe because you have better facilities there, so they come. So it depends on how. But parallel to that, we have also been trying to develop the capacity here, such that a student will not necessarily have to go to NTNU for the research work. So it depends on the research itself. For example, the new hydropower PhD that we are going to start, is going to use equipment that was acquired at NTNU during the previous research by the previous students. Now it's going to be shipped here in Dar es Salaam. So the student will be able to do most of the research work here. So we are combining both. That's why I said we still need support in some areas, but at the same time, we are trying to develop our capacity such that even if we are going to have that exchange, of course, the exchange is important even if we have sufficient capacity, but try to develop the capacity here as well so that we can take more students, big number of students, reduce cost, and have more students.
Thank you. And the last question that I see is from Mbuva, and I'm not sure that I understand exactly what's the question about. Is wonder how the process is opening for the candidates to apply for the PhD project.
Okay. I hope my boss was here, but I think we have decided to advertise. So we have advertised, and I'm not sure at what stage it is. Joseph was handling that, but the advert will come out and people will apply. That's how we try to do for transparency and also trying to get good candidates. So that's I think what the arrangement is. Yes, so Mbuva, you are welcome to apply. We also advertised another one in geothermal energy. I hope you got it. This is another project, not fund under NORAD, but we had two PhD scholarships. And Mbuva is one of our students, former students. So she finished her master's. Now she wants to go for PhD probably. That's why she's interested.
And she already came to NTNU for some period, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Very good to hear. So we can take up just the last question. I know that we are a few minutes over the time, and it has to do with how you manage the local auditing of the joint projects and how you integrate the reports from your former collaboration, I will think of.
This I think I'll try, but OJ might have to help me. Of course, the projects, normally how we do, each institution will have their own budget, and the money is sent there to the institution. And we do auditing in Tanzania. We do auditing for the money spent in Tanzania, here in Tanzania, and we submit the audit report to the coordinating institution and finally to the fund. But yeah, that's I don't know how in Norway, whether in Norway they are going to audit it again or they accept our audit report. But we do audit, and that's a requirement not only of the donor but also our government and the institution. And that is done by our investor is audited by the National Audit Office. So we through all our projects we get their service for auditing.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, please, Ole Jørgen, I think you were about to say something.
Well, if I should comment on that, I think one way of operating these joint projects is we define a total institutional budget for each partner, which is valid for the whole project period. So each partner can optimize their own activities within these frames. And each partner has to do the auditing for all the financial aspects of their institution. On the reporting, we follow these requirements given by each of the programs, and NP has one, NORAD has one. In addition to that, I think it's very useful to write joint report afterwards, like a sort of summary of all we've been doing, where we are a bit free from these forms or the specific formats which are given by each program. So we should do that also now on the projects we have completed, Capacity 5 and in the NP project.
Great. Thank you. So I think we have some minutes over the time we were planning to finish, but thank you very much all of you for joining, and especially thank to Professor Kimambo for the presentation. Thank you also for your participation. We have planned another webinar, which it will take part on the 30th of April. You can check the website for more details, and probably you will receive the invitation as it was sent previously for us. The plan now is to have one more on April and one in May, most probably. And then we will continue further. But thank you very much for today. I don't know, Jörgen, if you have a few words to finish.
Just one minor thing regarding the distribution list. Now we have invited people to be on the distribution list. So if you accept to be there, you will get notifications. If you don't want to be there, you don't answer the email and you're out. So it's very annoying to get too many invitations. So we understand that. But if you do want to be on the list, please give a note to Eleni and Chow, and you will be notified when we continue. So as Eleni says, we have 2 more coming up, one from Macarena and one from Mozambique before the summer. And then we will continue after the summer with bi-monthly. Hopefully it's going to be interesting with good participation from all.
Yes.
Thanks for today.
Thank you. And just to add that the recording, it will be sent to yes, to the ones participating today. So I can send you the recording of the today's seminar. Or if you have anyone else that you are thinking that might be interested to participate, please forward the invitation or just write an email to me. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cuthbert. Very nice.
Thank you, Jim.
So even on this day where you're supposed to be free and
no, I've been watching from morning, and it's only these 45 minutes. It's been I think more than a week watching television from morning, almost morning. But it's very interesting to see.
But this place, Chato, is it called Chato?
Chato, yes. It's around
small,
Lake.
It's a very small place, huh?
Yes, it is small. It's a district now, but it's along the Gonzaga knows better where it is. Gonzaga Badopo. You can cross. Actually, there is a bridge which is being constructed now across the river, so you can cross from Mwanza to that side of the lake, and it's not very far.